So, question, very relevant today with the terror attacks in New Orleans. How many jihadist cell blocks are still operating in the United States? Take a stab at it. Joining me now is a great friend, distinguished former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. He's also a Fox News contributor. Mike, thank you for this. I know lots of people are asking you lots of questions, but I don't know. I mean, I've never seen a head count. The FBI was kind of shaky on whatever this thing was in New Orleans, terrorist or not terrorist. Does anybody have any idea, any intel that can be publicly shared? How many ISIS are here? How many Al-Qaedas are here?
New Year to you. Look, I don't want to give a number, but we know the answer to this. We know that the American capacity to push back against radical Islamic terrorism is less today than it was just 4 years ago. You'll remember, Larry, when we took office in 2017, when President Trump came in, ISIS was running free. They were cutting the heads off people on the beaches all over the Middle East, and the threat here in the United States was very real. President Trump pressured radical Islamic terrorism everywhere, whether it was in the Middle East or here in the States, with real law enforcement, real intelligence collection. That's the model that we need to get back to. There are far too many terrorists who are working the streets of the United States or attempting to get here. I think we've seen now a couple of hundred that have crossed our southern border that are on the terror watch list. This is a real challenge. We saw the effects of that yesterday in New Orleans and perhaps in Las Vegas as well, but we've seen it in Europe. When you are afraid to just speak the truth about radical Islamic terrorism and political Islam, you get more of it. And sadly, that's the place the United States finds itself today. And for 20 more days, we will suffer from a weak leadership that has allowed this to metastasize and grow here inside of our own country.
Mr. Secretary, a lot of people are saying a lot of the terrorist threats are coming through the northern border, the Canadian-U.S. border. And I know there's going to be a change of government pretty soon there and so forth and so on. But, I mean, from your experiences and your research and your intelligence, how much of a threat is this northern border?
Yeah, it's all of our borders, when not controlled properly, are very real threats. We saw this not only in the east through the border crossings there, but Vancouver, Seattle in the west as well. We certainly saw terrorists that were attempting to come across there. We thwarted, during my time as CI director, we thwarted a number of efforts to move through Canada. So it's a very real challenge, Larry. It's our ports of entry as well. So not just border crossings themselves formally, but think about our airports and how goods, people, all of the things that make terror plots successful can move into our country. We have to full-on tackle this. Department of Homeland Security, the FBI, and intelligence collection abroad need to come together to deliver security and safety for the American people that failed us epically yesterday in New Orleans.
I can't wait. Honestly, I want John Ratcliffe to get over at CIA ASAP. I want Kash Patel to get over at FBI ASAP. I don't know if they would have thwarted the horrible thing in New Orleans or not, but I feel better if those two guys are running the place, doing a little bit of house cleaning. How about yourself?
There is no doubt this administration, whether it was Secretary Mayorkas or the leadership at the agency, haven't done enough to call out radical Islamic terrorism and to push back against it. We saw it in Afghanistan. We certainly saw the results of it on October 7th in Israel, where the Islamists believe that they could roll the United States. We need a new team. We need folks who will focus on this, apply their resources, and reduce this risk greatly. It's possible to do, Larry. You saw it. We know it. And I pray that it'll happen just as soon as they all get in.
Yeah, okay, I'm with you on that. I know you want to make a pitch, Nippon Steel buying U.S. Steel. Nippon Steel is now allowed, I guess the latest is they're saying any changes in management or operations or opening, closing plants can be adjudicated through the incoming White House. I don't think Mr. Trump yet looks favorably on a Nippon Steel takeover. The Committee on Foreign Investment in the Treasury, as you know, it has basically thrown this over to Biden. Biden's got to make a decision in the next couple of days. They punted on it. CFIUS in the Treasury punted on it. They gave it to Biden. What's going to happen here?
Well, unfortunately, the committee that was responsible for evaluating national security risks became politicized instead of just looking at national security risks. Of course, there's none. It's an ally, Japan, that's going to invest in America, make steel here in America, build here in America. I hope President Biden will say that this transaction go forward. If he doesn't, I hope President Trump will reconsider. for the workers of Pennsylvania, who nearly all favor this transaction moving forward. Everybody but the senior union liberal leadership favors this transaction moving forward. It's good for the workers. It's good for the community in the Mon Valley. I hope they will all see that this is good. We want to build things here in America. President Trump has said this repeatedly, and Nippon Steel has agreed to invest billions of dollars in Pennsylvania to do just that. It makes total sense for American national security and great sense for American steel to be produced right here at home.
Maybe the only way to save U.S. steel. And actually, Mike, you know, going back after all those meetings with Shinzo Abe, the late, great Prime Minister of Japan, we learned, right, Japanese car makers have bigger domestic content in the United States than American car makers. So I don't see what the threat is. Nippon is saying what it's going to do and so forth. I don't know. I kind of line up. I'd let the thing go through myself, but I'm not running the show. Actually, give you the last word, Mike Pompeo.
Thanks, Larry. Look, I hope this makes it. It's important for America. It's certainly important for the workers there. We've taken billions of taxpayer dollars to have the semiconductor manufacturers come here to America. I think that's fine. In this case, we're having the Japanese actually put their money, their capital at risk here in the United States to build American jobs and create wealth for American families. We ought to do that.
They'll hire. The Japanese will hire more American workers than the American.
By the hundreds, Larry.
Okay. Mike Pompeo, Happy New Year, sir. Thanks for coming back on.
Thank you. Happy